Wow, that was shocking. That was a trade that I did not expect, and I don't think anybody expected. So if you have not heard, I'm sure everybody, either you're going to wake up to this or you've heard about it already. A nice midnight trade to shock not just the NBA world, but the sports world. One of probably the biggest trades we have seen that came out of nowhere. This had no anticipation, no leaked rumors, nothing coming up to this point to suggest that this trade could happen. But we have a trade between the Lakers, the Mavericks, and the Utah Jazz. People forget about the Utah Jazz. So let's talk about what each team got. So the Lakers are getting Luka Doncic. Crazy. They're getting Maxi Kleber. They're getting Markieff Morris. The Mavericks are getting Anthony Davis. They're getting Max Christie, who just had a good game against the New York Knicks. And they're getting a 2029 first-round pick from the Lakers. The Utah Jazz, they're getting Jalen Hood-Schifino, who was the Lakers' first-round pick last season, a 2025 Clippers second-round pick, and a 2025 Mavericks second-round draft pick. They just need to find a third team to take the Jalen Hood-Schifino deal. Now, what makes this whole trade more interesting is reportedly, Luka did not know about the trade. Anthony Davis did not know about the trade, reportedly. Now, do I believe AD did not know? I'll talk about that in just a second. But what is being reported on Twitter or X, Anthony Davis did not know about the trade and he felt somewhat betrayed, but he is good with going to Dallas, so much so that he waived his trade kicker to make sure Dallas stays below the luxury tax and give him a little bit of cap relief for the next few seasons. And they said LeBron James found out about this after the game when he was at dinner with his family. So he did not know about the trade and he is still, quote unquote, processing things. So we didn't know about the trade. Talk about just the world had no idea. It seemed like this was one of those situations where the GMs, the owners just got in the room, just them, maybe a few hours, and worked out a deal. Because there was no leaks. A trade of this magnitude, some way, some shape or form, a leak gets out, but it did not. So what does this mean, though, for the teams involved? Let's start with Dallas, right? Because Luka Doncic, always an MVP candidate last few years. He was eligible for the Supermax extension, right? 5 years, I believe it was $345 million. What we're hearing or what they're reporting is that the Mavericks were not confident that he would sign that extension and that he will end up becoming an unrestricted free agent in 2026. In that situation, teams like the Lakers and a bunch of other teams were prepared to know that Luka could be a free agent in that situation. So maybe they did not feel that he was going to sign that contract. They were also concerned about his conditioning and things of that nature from Luka. So I can understand maybe try to get what you can get back. Now, is this the most that they probably could have got back? Probably, to stay a contender and not just trade for him for a bunch of first round picks. Because what Anthony Davis does to that roster, the Dallas Mavericks roster, I think is a very complete roster. You do lose Luka, but you have Kyrie. I think Kyrie now with the ball a little bit more, don't have to worry about Luka because Luka is, going to keep players from having the ball. You get Kyrie Irving. You still have Klay Thompson. Anthony Davis can now go to the 4. He's been complaining about playing the 5, right? He says he plays his best as a power forward at the 4 position. With Gafford, you don't have to worry about ever really playing center. Like, he's not going to play the 5 that much at all. I don't see a scenario where that's the case. He could now play the 4. I think you have an unbelievable roster in Dallas. Now, you trade a 25, basically going to be 26. I'll call him 26 the rest of this video because Luka is going to be 26 by the end of the month. So you trade a 26-year-old for an aging Anthony Davis. You still have Kyrie, who's also an aging Kyrie Irving. Now, Dallas is in a win-now scenario, in my opinion, right? You have to go ahead, try to get things done as quickly as possible because you do have aging players. For the Lakers, how does this make sense? Well, the Lakers are in a situation where you had to go and try to win now. And everybody knew this. No secret, right? You have no draft picks, essentially, besides that 2029 first-round pick, which they did trade. Now, the next first-round pick will come in 2031. So you have no draft picks. Once LeBron James decides he wants to retire, I think you lose Anthony Davis at that point because you have nothing else there. You have Austin Reeves, right? You have some pieces, but they're not pieces that's going to win you a championship. But you go get a Luka And now what you're saying is if we do lose a LeBron James, and we do, well, you're going to, whether it's now, later, you will lose LeBron James, right? If we do lose to Anthony Davis, we have something. We have Luka. Luka is going to be that superstar. And because he got traded, he's not on the team that drafted him. Luka is technically going to be on a cheaper deal, a discounted deal for the Lakers. Still a max, but not a super max. So what I believe is going to happen, Luka will probably sign a 3-year extension so he can opt out, become an unrestricted free agent after 10 seasons, so he can now get the super max at that point. I do think he will get a 3-year deal with the Lakers. You have a guy that you could build around. But also what this indicates, there is absolutely no way the Lakers are done. This roster is so incomplete. One, I have my reservations about Luka and LeBron James playing together. Now, again, it's always going to be tough for me to believe that nobody knew this was going to happen in terms of Anthony Davis or LeBron James. But I'm going to take that as a factual statement at this point because how tight everything was. Maybe nobody really knew this was happening. So that's the case. How does LeBron James feel about the trade? How does he fit in with Luka? I don't think they're a good match. Just to be honest, I don't think they're a good match. But how do they fit in together? And then what do they do at the center position? You have a massive void now at the center position. You didn't have one really to begin with. You lose Anthony Davis. Now you really don't have any solution there. So you got to figure something out at that spot. But I still don't think the Lakers are done. Are they blowing things up? Are they preparing for the future? LeBron James has a no trade clause. We will see what happens there. All this sets up is a crazy trade deadline on Thursday. Absolutely crazy, because everything that we have talked about the last few weeks, and I don't know, I might post this on both my channels, the sports channel and the NBA channel, but every scenario that we talked about, can you go get a big, right, for the Lakers? All of that scenario out the window. Can you go get Lonzo Ball? That's out the window. Everything we've talked about is gone. This is a whole new thing that everybody has to sit back and figure out. I can't go on Spot Track right now because everybody's going to the website. It's going insanely slow. So we're just going off the cuff. Hopefully tomorrow we can come back, sit down, and have a detailed video about exactly where the Lakers stand, exactly where the Mavericks stand. But right now, I'm just as shocked as everybody else. Just my initial thoughts, man, I don't mind it. I do not mind it. I think it's shocking. The shock factor is what matters, but the actual trade makes sense. It definitely makes sense for the Mavericks to win now. Now, future-wise for Dallas, I think it hurts there for sure. And just the fans, right? They love Luka. So he's not going to be there. Lakers, I mean, I love Anthony Davis as a Lakers fan. It's going to hurt, but you get a Luka Doncic back. He's younger, about to be 26. Can't get mad at that. But they got to figure something else out. Something else is happening. What? I don't know, but something else is happening, man. But that's it. Quick video. Don't want to make this too long, but you guys let me know. What do you guys think about this trade? What do you think is going to happen next? Man, trade deadline is going to be crazy. Let me know how you guys feel about it in the comment section below. As usual, hope you guys did enjoy the video. If you did, please do me a favor. Go ahead and hit that like button. Helps me out a lot. And subscribe if you haven't already. It's DLloyd. Let me see y'all next time. Peace.